For years, the AI world had a clear king. Everyone knew who ruled the hill. But then, everything changed. For years, the hierarchy of AI felt set in stone. We all knew who was king of the hill. A challenger emerged, not just competing, but winning. And shockwaves ripped across the entire industry. But that all just got turned on its head. An underdog from Alibaba just delivered a knockout blow. And the proof is in the numbers. This wasn't luck, it was a statement. And the secret weapon? Smarter, faster, more efficient AI. So how did they do it? Not by building a bigger monster, but a smarter one, using a mixture of experts architecture. It's the definition of working smarter, not harder.
All right, let's talk about AI. For a while now, it's felt like there's been a clear pecking order, right? We all knew who was king of the hill. Well, that just got turned completely on its head. The reigning champ has been knocked down a peg, and honestly, it's sending some serious shockwaves to the entire industry.
Yeah, for months, maybe even longer, the top spot in advanced AI felt, well, locked in. But out of nowhere, this new challenger shows up. And we're not talking about just competing with the leader. We're talking about beating them. The big question is, how on earth did this underdog pull off such a major upset?
So, who is this mystery challenger? Well, it's from the tech giant Alibaba. On September 18, 2025, they dropped an open-source AI agent called Tongyi Deep Research. And let me be clear, this wasn't just some quiet little product release. Oh no, this was a shot fired directly at OpenAI's top-tier tool.
And look, the proof is right here in the numbers. They put it through this incredibly tough industry test called Humanity's Last Exam. Alibaba's AI agent hit almost 33% accuracy. Now, I know what you're thinking. 33% doesn't sound amazing, right? But hold on. OpenAI's score was 26.6%. In this game, a 6-point lead isn't just a win, it's a total knockout. It's a huge statement.
And believe me, this was no fluke. It wasn't just a one-hit wonder. This thing absolutely crushed it across the board. It posted some really strong scores on other major benchmarks, in both English and Chinese. And check this out. It even scored a whopping 75% on a super specialized deep search test. That just shows you how versatile this thing is.
So you can bet a debut this big didn't go unnoticed. Adina Yakufu, who's a community lead over at Hugging Face, and if you know open source AI, you know that's a huge deal. She put it perfectly. She just said the results were incredible. And look, when the experts in the field are using words like that, you know something really, really big just went down.
Okay, so this is where the story gets really fascinating. How did they do it? You'd think they must have built some monster of a model, right? Nope. Here's the kicker. It's actually smaller than its rival. We're talking around 30 billion parameters. So it's not just outperforming the competition. It's doing it more efficiently. So, what is the secret sauce?
The secret is a really clever architecture called Mixture of Experts, or MOE for short. Now, the best way to think about this is like a team of specialist doctors. Imagine you have a problem. Instead of going to one general doctor who knows a little bit about everything, you go to a clinic with a bunch of experts, a heart specialist, a brain specialist, a skin specialist. The system figures out exactly what your problem is and only calls in the one expert you need. It's just a brilliant way to be faster, more accurate, and way, way more efficient.
And the efficiency here is, well, it's staggering when you look at the raw numbers. This model has a total of about 30.5 billion parameters. That's its total potential brain power. But, and this is the genius part, for any single thing you ask it to do, it only fires up about 10% of that. Just 3.3 billion parameters. It is the absolute definition of work smarter, not harder. You get that top-tier performance without burning through a ton of computational power on every single request.
Now, this isn't some science experiment stuck in a research lab. Not at all. This tech is already out there, in the real world. Alibaba has already started plugging this powerful and efficient AI into apps that millions of people are using, like right now.
So where can you find it? For one, it's helping power the OMAP navigation app. It helps you plan out these really complex, multi-day road trips by being super smart about how it searches for information. On the other end of the spectrum, it's also being used in a pro tool for lawyers called Tongyi Deep, helping them dig up case law with citations that are actually verified. So it's proving its worth for everyday people and for highly specialized professionals.
But here's the thing. This new AI agent, it's not a one-off. To really get what's going on, we have to zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Because this launch is just one move in a much larger, much more aggressive strategy from Alibaba. They're not just trying to compete, they're playing to win the whole game.
Just look at the timeline. It's wild how fast things are moving. On September 8th, Alibaba drops a new speech model. Just over a week later, you have OpenAI's CEO at a fancy state banquet at Windsor Castle. And then, the very next day, Alibaba announces Tongyi Deep Research. The pace is absolutely relentless.
And what's crazy is that this new agent, it isn't even their biggest gun, not by a long shot. They also just showed off an 80 billion parameter model. That's more than double the size. And they even gave a sneak peek of a future model with a mind-blowing 1 trillion parameters. So yeah, this isn't just about competing anymore. This is about trying to take over.
And you have to remember, this battle between companies isn't happening in a vacuum. It's all playing out on a massive global stage. While these tech giants are duking it out, entire countries are making strategic moves. For instance, the US and the UK just inked a $42 billion tech deal that's all about AI. It just goes to show you how high the stakes are, not just for the companies, but for entire nations.
So all of this leaves us with one big final question. The release of Tongyi Deep Research proves just how fast the game can change. Today's champion can literally become tomorrow's challenger. So in a race that's moving this quickly, with so much at stake, who do you think is going to be on top a year from now?
So now, the question is clear. In this global AI arms race, who will sit on the throne next?
But this is bigger than just one model. This is a global arms race, moving at a blinding pace, with trillion-parameter models on the horizon and nations placing $1 billion bets.